Hey everybody, it's Jay from Bullshit Corner. In today's video we're going to do a simple transmission oil flush in the Jeep. And now we're not going to go about changing the filter and gasket. We're just going to flush the oil out. So you may think, how are you going to do that without removing the transmission oil pan? Simple. We're going to go through the cooler on the rad. There's two, I think they're like 5/16 or 3/8 lines, whatever the hell size they are. On the bottom we're going to disconnect the line, connect it to a jug, start the Jeep, let it pump out in the jug. We're not going to drain the transmission, we're only going to do a little bit at a time. And then we're going to reconnect the line, refill it, restart it, cycle through the gears for a little bit, stop it, fucking pump it out again, refill it, and we'll be done. And we're going to pump about 8 liters through it. Just a quick flush, nothing too serious. I don't know when the last time the transmission oil was changed. It does look a little clean still. It's not black. It doesn't smell burnt, so that's why I'm only going to do like a real quick change. And I'm just doing this video so that you guys yourselves can do it yourself if you don't know how, because a lot of people, this just seems really easy and boring. But for some people, you know, they just don't have a fucking clue. I'll give you an example. At work, there's this guy who was complaining that his truck, when he drives it, it would start heating up, and then he'd have to stop, and then it would cool down, and so forth. So I was trying to, without physically see it, troubleshoot the problem with him. Went through all these different things, and he says, no, I don't think it's that, it's not that. Check the strength of it. If you haven't changed it in a while, check the strength. So then he calls me back. He gave me a call on the phone. He says, yeah, I opened up the rad. I wanted to check the fluid, and I couldn't see any coolant in it. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't see any coolant? The rad is supposed to have fucking coolant in it. And he goes, well, I changed the thermostat last week. And he goes, I removed the top hose and there wasn't any coolant. And I'm like, holy fuck, buddy. There's no coolant. That's the reason why you're overheating. So anyways, getting off topic, he filled his rad up with coolant and his truck seems to be running, doesn't have any issues. So, but anyways, back to our topic now. I'm going to go underneath and I'm going to show you what line to disconnect, and we're going to get this project going. So this is my little setup I got going on. I put this little hose on. It's going to drain into the funnel, and the other rad hose is right there. And I'm going to go with that. I'm going to start the Jeep and drain out about almost 4 liters, and I'm going to add 4 liters. Alright, this is the first amount. And you can see it is actually quite a bit darker than I thought for transmission oil. Quite a bit darker. Alright, to refill our transmission, I'm just going to stick a funnel in there and pour transmission fluid in there. Alright, so now I just added oil, so I'm going to start the Jeep up, let it run for a couple of minutes, go through each gear, get the oil moving, and then we're going to turn the truck off, restart it, and then we're going to drain it again. First thing you do is the Jeep, you just start it, make sure it's in park and start it. And then you just want to let it run for about 30 seconds or so, because you did pump a lot of oil out of it. You don't want to stick it into gear until the oil starts moving. So I'm going to wait till the timer says 30 seconds. I'm going to put it in reverse and see if it clicks into reverse. If not, I'm going to wait a few more seconds. So I'm just going to click in reverse. Got it in drive, neutral. There we go. Oil's starting to go now. I can feel it kicking the gear. And I'm just gonna race her through the gears. Let her idle in park, and that's basically what you do when you're inside the vehicle when you start it up, to get the oil circulating and mixing. When your transmission fluid starts to go low and you see it's going to start pumping, it's critical at this point you want to stop the Jeep, because if you don't, hydraulics is basically how transmission works. Hydraulics love pressure. If you have no pressure, no fluid, you're going to fuck shit up. So as soon as that oil level starts coming down and your fluid starts dropping off, fucking immediately turn the Jeep off, call it quits before you cause damage. Alright, this should be quite a bit brighter than the last time. See, the oil's getting a nice red tinge to it now. Where before she was kind of brown and gross. For the second time filling, I only put 3/4 of the jug in, almost 4 liters. So let's just say we put around 3 liters and not the full 4 liters. Only because you don't want to overfill your transmission, because overfilling the transmission, it's going to start foaming and it's going to cause all sorts of troubles. So I just filled it up a little bit. We're going to start the Jeep, let it run for a bit, and then we're going to check the oil while it's running and then top it up from there. So I just got back from taking the Jeep for a rip after changing the oil in the transmission and transfer case, and even doing that quick change made a big difference. Like I said, the truck's got almost 300,000 K. It's got 272,000 kilometers. The transmission oil's probably never been changed. When I first took it out driving it, you could feel every single gear shifted. It'd rev up and then drop in. Not hard though, but you could definitely feel it. Now that I flushed the transmission oil, I don't even feel it shift at all. So I'm pretty happy with that. In the transfer case, when you see that video, that fucking oil was so black. Hydraulic oil should never get black. But anyways, that's it. Time to drink a fucking beer. That ends the video for a quick transmission oil flush. Basically, all in all, we flushed about 8 liters of transmission fluid out of the transmission. I'm not sure how many liters it holds total, maybe 12, but I got enough out to freshen up the oil. I will do an actual real transmission oil flush later on where I remove the pan and we change the filter and all that crap, but for right now, this is how I'm going, because even if you drop the pan and change the oil, you still got the oil in the torque converter. So basically, if you really want to flush the oil, you'd probably want to do both steps, you know, change the gasket and filter and then flush it out to the rad like I was. So anyways, for those of you who haven't watched the videos, I'm bringing this up until it's time. The old Jeep engine, I still have it. So if you want to see the insides of it, if you want to see it stripped down, leave a message below, because if nobody cares, I'm just going to take it to the scrapyard. But if somebody wants me to strip it down and they kind of want to see stuff in it, you know, just for future reference, whatever say, I have no problem doing that. So anyways, I'm going to go post any questions, comments, or concerns below, and otherwise, thanks for watching.